as ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan insists abducted Chibok girls are still alive. Also in this program, federal government grants 9 private universities provisional licenses, bringing number of private varsities to 59. U.S. envoy to South Korea receives knife slash on face and arm in shock. And now the details. President Goodluck Jonathan has affirmed that more than 200 female pupils kidnapped by Boko Haram at the government girls' secondary school Chibok in Borno State are still alive. The president made this revelation during a current affairs program, Kakaki, on the African Independent Television, AIT, claiming that the girls were still being kept by Boko Haram in contradiction to Abubakar Shekau's statement in a video released in October 2014 to the media that he had married off the pupils. In a previous statement, the group's leader had threatened to sell the girls as slaves. He argued that if the schoolgirls had been killed, the Boko Haram insurgents commander Shekau would have released a video showing how they were murdered. According to the president, the Nigerian security forces are also wary of storming the main stronghold of the terrorists because they fear the insurgents may use the girls as shields. The schoolgirls, who have spent more than 300 days in captivity, were abducted in April 14 last year during the West African Examination Council final papers. Meanwhile, eyewitnesses say that Boko Haram fighters have massed in Goza, Borno State, killing several residents in the town considered to be the group's headquarters. Senator Aliyu Dume reveals he had received reports of the insurgents' build-up in the town where Boko Haram last year had declared its caliphate. Dume, who has fled Goza on Tuesday, said the militant fighters had also killed several male residents in the town. According to a source who confirmed the development, the sect, looking at the rate at which it was losing territories to security agents in recent times, decided to embark on mass killings. Meanwhile, Nigeria's military say troops are now in full control of Mafa in Borno State. The town was taken over by insurgents in 2014 after killing at least 29 people. Defense headquarters said through its Twitter feed that soldiers cleared terrorists from the town on Wednesday evening. Before the liberation of Mafa, troops had flushed out insurgents from as many as 30 communities in northeast Nigeria. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adesola Amosun, says the military operations in the insurgency-ravaged communities had totally destabilized and destroyed the Boko Haram stronghold by damaging its command and control in the area. Amosun stated this when he appeared before the Senate Committee on Defense for the 2014 budget defense. He commended the collaborative efforts of the neighboring countries of Chad, Cameroon, Benin Republic, and Niger in the ongoing fight against the insurgents in the northeast. He says the bilateral collaboration hand-to-hand cooperation between Nigerian soldiers and those countries gave the nation's security forces a lot of boost because they had blocked the terrorists from escaping into their countries. Security agencies in Kano have warned residents of the ancient city against boarding vehicles at the legal bus terminus and motor parks. This, they say, is to avoid terror attacks on soft targets. Head of security agency said at a stakeholders meeting in Kano that the proliferation of illegal parks in the city poses a security threat at a time insurgents have been launching bomb attacks on passenger vehicles. They have also resolved to clamp down on operators of such parks.
You don't need us to do that. If you go to your place of work, it's also your responsibility to secure that place and that kind of thing. No matter how it is, sometimes you have to lock the windows, you have to do this. So then you now have institutional security, so all these layers of security exist, and we should take it like that. That we all have responsibilities at different levels to secure both ourselves, our properties, and also properties and lives of other people.
Now everybody should know, whether it's a small park or a big park, we should start searching. As that searching is going on, you know what these people do is that they send surveillance teams. The duty of the surveillance teams they send when they are sending surveillance teams to Kano is that go and see what they are doing in Angwaku Motor Park. Go and see what they are doing at the luxurious park. Go and see what they are doing at the park at the railway. Go and see what they are doing at the Kano Line Park. These surveillance teams, as they go back and they tell them, well, at the luxurious park, those people, they check. So no go there. If you go there, they will catch you. They say, if you go to the other park, they say, those people, they check. If you go there, they will catch you. But they say, if you go to Kano Line, they check. That one, if you just enter like this, you drop your ADC and you go to paradise. So we should not allow that. All parks have to ensure that they check.
Still in Kano, the police authorities have advised imams of Jumat mosques to set up security committees consisting of resource personalities. This, according to the police, is with a view to putting a stop to a situation where youths carry weapons at mosques in the name of providing security. Commissioner of Police Ibrahim Idris delivered the message at the meeting with the imams on security issues affecting the mosques. The police also advised that they conduct searches on people to ensure that no one goes in with dangerous weapons. They were further advised to liaise with their divisional police officers in their area in order to provide effective security coverage. For their part, the imams expressed deep appreciation to the Commissioner of Police for meeting them twice since assuming office in the state. A federal high court in Abuja has fixed March 19 to deliver a judgment on the suit seeking to enforce the rights of internally displaced voters in Borno State to exercise the franchise in the 2015 elections. The Attorney General of the state had gone to court seeking, among other reliefs, that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) should make special arrangements for registered voters who are internally displaced in the state to vote in their various displaced locations. In his argument, counsel to the plaintiff, Ricky Taffa, noted that failure by INEC to provide facilities that will allow the IDPs to vote will amount to denying them their constitutional rights. But counsel to INEC, Oyechi Piazzo, insisted that the Commission had taken administrative measures that will allow registered IDPs to vote. The APC Presidential Campaign Organization has accused the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) and Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria (APCON) of promoting violence and hate with their inability to sanction radio and TV stations, industry players and groups who continuously breach regulations governing their activities. The campaign team specifically challenged the NBC to make good its threat to wield the big stick against errant broadcast stations by applying its code to all industry players across board without fear or favor. Spokesman for the campaign team, Garba Shehu, said in a statement that recent comments made by the NBC DG, Emeka Umba, were heartwarming, but he insists that the commission has not matched its words with action. What with the current spate of hate speeches and allegations among political gladiators in the mass media, which has resulted in correspondent increase in lawsuits, it has become pertinent now to reinforce the watchdog role of the press. In a symposium organized by the Mail Express weekly newspaper in Ikeja, with the theme, The Role of the Media in Achieving Violence-Free Elections, discussants reiterated the need for the Nigerian mass media to be non-partisan, but stand as the interface between leaders and the electorate. They also called on the press to avoid airing incisive statements.
For the truth and bring it out. It is not to cheap political goals here. Please, whatever word we are using, for me, I don't believe we should use clueless on our president. If he has not done anything well, let us report it that he has not done well in this area. If he has done well in one area, let us say yes, he did well in this area. And I must tell you today, whether we like it or not, in the political era, everybody wants to score political goals. And everybody wants to campaign with their achievements, but for God's sake, stop telling lies about achievements that are not there.
Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu is not fully convinced about the functionality of card readers in spite of assurances from INEC, because he expresses worries over the ability of the card readers to properly function without hitches in rural areas. Speaking shortly after a closed-door meeting with President Jonathan, the governor appealed to INEC to ensure that the doubt expressed by political parties over the use of card reader should be looked into to ensure a credible election.
The concern of many people is this, that the card reader may have such difficulties, particularly in the rural areas. But we have been told that if they are charged, they will be okay. But I think the stand of many of the political parties is that where you have difficulties, what happens? I remember when they were registering me for the national ID card. Believe me, for me alone, it took about 1 hour, because this machine will do that and the other ones. And suppose it happens like that in the polling unit where you have 500 people accredited, and then it takes the card reader this long to do. I think these are some of the questions we are all asking. Can you perfect it? I understand that INEC is going to conduct some few elementary ways of finding out whether that is possible. And the moment the parties are convinced, I believe it will be okay.
Federal government approves more private universities. Find out more on the story and others after this break.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of some of our top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan insists abducted Chibok schoolgirls are still alive. Federal government grants 9 private universities provisional licenses, bringing number of private varsities to 59. You can also get all of our top stories on any other social media platforms. On Facebook, It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG, and we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, never space, and news. The governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos, Jimmy Agbaje, has debunked claims by an Indigo group under the auspices of Association of Concerned Igbo Residents of Lagos State that those endorsing the PDP candidate are merely after the material gains and do not have the interest of the entire Igbo populace at heart. In an interview after his adoption by Indigo rulers and the conferment of a title of him in Lagos, he says the PDP is a party for all, irrespective of tribe.
If you followed us to Ladipo Market, where you have predominantly Igbo people there, you will know whether the people believe that they have their interest or not. They have marginalized, they have disenfranchised them considerably, and it's time for them to speak with their permanent voters' cards. I think they just feel threatened. It is clear where we stand, that we're for a Lagos that accommodates everybody. We're not out to discriminate against people. Lagos needs people to thrive on.
Well, the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate Akiwumi Ambode has assured the people of Ibeju-Lekki of the provision of an effective railway system that will run from CMS through Ekpe, voted in as governor of the state. Ambode, who made this declaration at the APC governorship rally at Ibeju-Lekki area of the state, also promised the completion of all ongoing projects by the APC-led government if elected.
With all of us supporting both of them, we will rescue Nigeria. We will rescue our future. When we do that, when you now continue with APC in the states, it means Lagos State will get more of more. And when we do that, it means the prosperity of Lagos is assured. I don't want to come back to put you in the sun. I want you to be in your good offices. I want all of you to be gainfully employed. I want Lagos to be more prosperous than ever before. So, come March 28th, we must vote APC because of our future. Come April 11th, we must vote APC because of your future.
On the spot, the Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola called on all Lagosians to vote out the PDP-led federal government, saying the party is full of lies and it's high time
I will not vote for PDP. I will not vote for Jonathan. Who will you vote for? This government has lied about every issue that has concerned your lives. Every issue. First, they lied that they did not devalue the naira. You remember? Later, you saw the result. So why is this party a tissue of lies, a bundle of lies? They can't tell the truth. Anytime PDP says good morning now, go and look outside. To join me to say for PDP, it is time for them to go.
A few days ago, we brought to you a report on the alleged mismanagement of 136 billion naira subsidy reinvestment in empowerment program funds, allegedly collected by Governor Babatunde Fashola on behalf of the Lagos State government. Well, now let's join Oluwaseye Adegoke with update on that story.
We are challenging Governor Fashola to come and explain to Lagosians, because he who lives in glass house, is advised not to throw stone. But now that he has thrown the stone, he must, face the consequence. We are also asking. Lagosians are demanding that Governor Fashola should come and show to them the things he has used the over 136 billion naira shopping money to do in the state. And except he does that, we will take it that he has misappropriated the money, he has given the money to somebody, or himself has kept the money.
That was the State Publicity Secretary of the PDP in Lagos, Gani Taufik, seeking the whereabouts of the alleged 136 billion Shopee funds which he says has been collected since the inception of the program by the Lagos State government. But in his reaction, Lagos State Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Joe Igbokwe, says PDP spokesman is being economical with the truth on the exact amount, which he says amounted to 9 billion naira and not 136 billion as alleged by the PDP.
No, Lagos is a I don't know how to describe it, but Lagos is an organized state. There's a way of what people expect from the states, and they're not idiots. They are not people who use funds for fun. In Lagos we are very serious. That's why you can compare the economy of Lagos with Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Cameroon. In Lagos, running government of Lagos is a 24-hour business. 247. It's a very serious business. What is 9 billion? What's 9 billion? You don't know, people don't understand how Lagos is governed. They use their standard to judge other people. Those who are saying this are using their standard because they may be thieves to judge a dynamic and straightforward leadership that we have in Lagos.
While the APC through Igbokwe may dismiss this allegation, this will certainly not be the end of the war of words over the Shopee funds in Lagos State. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The management of 9 newly approved private universities have received provisional licenses to operate. Now, this brings to 59 the total number of private universities licensed to operate in the country. Government officials expressed hope that this increase in the number of universities will ease the problem of access for the timid Nigerian youths seeking admission. Basi Aye reports that the new private universities are on probation for 3 years and can only admit students after 1 year.
It's slightly over a week after the Federal Executive Council gave its approval for their existence. But now the operators of 9 new private universities have been handed provisional licenses. Presenting the licenses to the institutions, the Minister of Education had words of encouragement to offer to each of them.
Christopher University is taking their license. After Christopher will have is taking. Christopher.
I congratulate the proprietors of the universities who have persevered through the grueling processes to deserve this cherished approval.
Then came words of caution on what the new universities need to do to scale through the 3-year probation period.
The government appreciates the courage of the proprietors to partner with it on a project of this nature, which is not expected to be for profit. It will not tolerate any breach of the conditions of the approval. Any unwholesome practice or operation outside the provisions of NUC guidelines is unacceptable and will attract appropriate sanctions.
In your developmental project, you must include staff development. If you are hoping of stealing staff from other places, it won't work. I will come around and let you know that I'm still around in the system. Did you hear that one? But I have some very senior people on this side, so I'm a little careful.
The institutions were urged to uphold qualitative standards that will check the massive movement of young Nigerians to study abroad.
People want to go abroad. People want to go outside the country. Nigerians feel it's a class thing. My child is studying in, let me not call some of the countries that are our neighbors. And for some people, that is going abroad.
The authorities also raised the alarm on the high rate of jobless PhD holders in the country, a situation they say government is looking into.
But I'm amazed how many people with PhD degrees walk into my office every day and say I'm looking for a job. I say, what? What's happening in university? So I'm going to open a portal now. Those who have acquired a PhD degree and have no job, let them apply to us. There are vacancies in institutions.
The new operators are still basking in the euphoria of joining the League of Intellectual Molders, but they also agree that they have to weather the storm of scaling through the probation period of affiliation to older universities and mentoring by NUC within the first 5 years. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The anger of Nigerians against epileptic power supply or total outage has played out in Iworo-Ekiti, a coast community of the Ekiti State University. The Ado-Ekiti-Abuja road was blocked by the angry protesters and made commuters and workers stranded for several hours. Attempts to open up the roads led to a face-off between the police and the protesters, even as the Benin Electricity Distribution Company vows not to connect the communities until their debts are paid. Rashid has more.
Iworo-Ekiti, a co-host community of the Ekiti State University, is protesting against power outage, which spreads across other communities like Afao-Ekiti, the town of Governor Adele Faoshe, and the governor's chief of staff, Dipo Anishulo. All entreaties by Anishulo was rebuffed by the protesters. The town, densely populated by students of the university, says the students are having hard times to study without light, as the indigents claim to have paid their bills as at when due.
We haven't seen light for the past 3 months. And this is Woroko, and we have been paid a good money. The day we pay money, they cut off our lights.
We want them to restore our light with immediate effect. That is what we want. Our exam is coming. And we must read with this light. We cannot continue to live in darkness. It is not possible.
Just ran into these boys. They blocked the whole road that there's no light for about 2 months. See, that's what they subjected everybody to since morning. We couldn't go to our work. We've been out almost for 5 hours now.
All appeals made to the protesters to reopen the barricaded all-important Ado-Ekiti-Abuja road were rebuffed by them. The confrontation that ensued between the mob and the police made the protest go violent.
Okay, don't block the road. Please move away. Mobile men. That side. That side.
The defiant protesters made back to the streets despite arrests, barricading the roads after pelting police with stones. This forced the police for reinforcement. The public relations officer of Benin Electricity Distribution Company, Kayode Brown, speaking on phone, confirms withdrawing their service from the communities affected due to non-payment of over 91 million naira. Rashid, CoreTV News, Iworo-Ekiti.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has arrested a suspected fraudster, Obichina Chikeluba, for allegedly swindling Karen Oakes, a UK citizen, of $54,000 or the equivalent of 20 million naira in love scam. Chikeluba, a 21-year-old student of Federal Science and Technical College, Yaba, Lagos, met the victim on Facebook sometime in 2013. The suspect is said to have used the assumed profile of an American, Lisa Jackson, entered into a relationship with Oakes, with the pair agreeing to get married. In the course of the relationship, Jackson at various times collected money to the tune of $54,000 from Oakes to enable him to travel to the UK to meet her. But after an endless wait for her fiancé, it dawned on the Briton that she had been conned and consequently petitioned the EFCC. EFCC operatives arrested Chikeluba in a sting operation on February 24, 2015 in Lagos while attempting to collect a parcel sent to him. The commission says it will appear in court as soon as investigation is concluded. A one-day lecture titled An Agenda for the Developmental Future of Nigeria was organized in honor of the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, who clocked 78 today. The lecture, which focuses on the developmental prospect, security challenges and the way forward for the nation after 2015, was held at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta. Olajumoke Olatunji has more.
At 78, the journey seems to have just begun for former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was honored by academic professors, ambassadors and political leaders in Nigeria with a one-day lecture titled An Agenda for the Developmental Future of Nigeria, focusing on the security challenges, poverty eradication and the way forward for Nigeria. In addressing these pertinent issues, the former Chief of Defense Staff and Chairman of SHOPE, retired General Martin Luther Agwaye, describes the current state of Nigeria's security as unfortunate and disastrous to the developmental future of the country, and urged the Nigerians should vote wisely in the March 28th presidential election, and that only change can restore sanity to the country.
For violence, we have a lot of violence in this country. Sometimes I become very scared, even having spent the better part of my life wearing army uniform. I still am scared with the degree of violence in this country. I'm scared with the way life has been treated. Human life actually maybe is really, really cheap as things are showing us. And our political class is not helping matter. We need to annex all, we have so many security agencies in this country. The police, road safety, custom, immigration and everything. We need to annex them.
Participants took time off from discussions for the presentation of gifts and cutting of the cake.
8 glorious years.
The national chairman of the All Progressives, John Odigioyegun, under the order of the former president Obasanjo, complimented him, called him a nationalist and a man of reputable character, having worked under his administration as permanent secretary.
Because today, you have become a measure. When you were president, it's not always we agreed with you, but we knew where you were. We knew where you were going. We knew what your views were and all that. I want to thank you because of that you have done great service to JPC without your knowing it.
Today he remains the only civilian president to conceive, organize and successfully execute a civilian-to-civilian government transition in Nigeria.
Not leaving out the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, who described Obasanjo as an open book and one who has challenged his personality and contributed to who he is today.
General Obasanjo won't say a word at all. It's not about anything else. It's about the love of a country. Truly an honor. A man who had kept you on your toes. No matter what you see between Baba Chief Olusegun Obasanjo and myself, what I can say is a gratitude for me is because you kept me on my toes.
In his response, the celebrant advised politicians not to undermine their loyalty for the country and thrive for a more enabling environment for the youth.
Why any Nigerian child at this point in time should not have basic education, food and nutrition. I think it's General Agwaye who said there's no earthly reason why any Nigerian child, not any Nigerian child, any Nigerian should go to bed without food. We have the resources to be able to achieve that. That we're not achieving it is not because we have no resources. It's because we haven't managed our resources well.
The second component of the celebration was a reception to accommodate friends and family who have come to rejoice with the former president. Olajumoke Olatoje, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
We'll take another break now. We'll be back with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
On business tonight, the House of Representatives has deferred from the Senate stance on the appropriate crude oil benchmark for the 2015 budget. The lower chamber opted for $54, $2 more than the $52 earlier adopted by senators. Lawmakers took the decision while considering the 2015 to 2017 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. The House, however, retained the oil production proposed by the executive for 3 years. And just like the Senate did, members of the House also scrapped the service-wide vote to which the government allocated 360.94 billion naira in the 2015 budget. The federal government has approved the contract of 11 million euros for the purchase of auto laboratory testing equipment and tools. The tools, when fully operational, will minimize environmental hazard caused by substandard vehicles. The decision was taken at the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says on Thursday that the country would be producing about 400,000 barrels of refined petroleum products every day when it completes the current rehabilitation of the 3 refineries in the country by the first quarter of the year. The coordinator, corporate planning and strategy of the NNPC, Tim Okon, stated this while defending the budget of the agency before the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources. He told the senators the corporation could not afford the bills for their turnaround maintenance from the original builders. He said SAPEM, which was to carry out the turnaround maintenance of the Port Harcourt refinery, gave the agency a bill of $475 million, but later reduced it to $297 million after further negotiation. But the management considered the prices to be on the high side and decided to look inward by inviting local contractors that are familiar with the facilities and work with them. Let's join Sabina Izopo now for reports of the stock market today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izoku. The equity transaction on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today as the Nigerian All Shares Index depreciated by 0.82% to close at 30,365.13 basis points. The market capitalization decreased to close at 10.13 trillion naira. In all, a total volume of 378.7 million units of shares valued at 4.1 billion naira were exchanged in 3,883 deals. Mobil oil topped the gainers chart to close at 155 naira 80 kobo with 5 naira 80 kobo price difference, followed by Guinness, Owanda Oil, Union Bank of Nigeria, and Dangote Cement. On the flip side, 40 oil topped the losers chart, followed by Julius Berger, Nigerian Brews, 7up, and United Africa Company of Nigeria. Meanwhile, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings topped the traders chart, followed by Zenith Bank, Union Diagnostic and Clinical Services, Transcorp, and United Bank for Africa. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today. I am Savannah Zoku.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
Thank you, Sabina. Browser No One I standing by now to bring you updates from the world of sport.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball, storming, Puyol with a flying lead.
Go taking them out in the lead and really.
Very big thanks for joining me on our sport news tonight. I am Brownson Uwana. Reactions has continued to trail the contract drama between coach Stephen Keshi and the Nigerian Football Federation. Keshi was offered a new contract by NFF with fresh terms, but the AFCON winning coach says the term of contract is unacceptable and, of course, termed it as a slave contract. Even though most sports lovers has branded Keshi as untouchable by President Goodluck Jonathan, sport pundit Effiong Young debunked the claim.
See, I think one thing that is wrong is that when we disrespect the office of the President of the Federal Republic, I am not a president yet, but I have been associated with people who have held very high offices. And I know that the least of the worry of any president will be whether there is one football coach or no football coach. With what is going on in Nigeria today, we're fighting insurgency, the oil prices are dwindling, the naira is falling, so many things are happening, elections are coming, Jagad this, Jagad that, APC this, PDP that, and you think one president will have time to say who is the Super Eagles coach? Super Eagles coach as what?
Finally, on sport news tonight, on a very sad note, Kanu Pillars Gambo Mohammed, Eneji Okpata, Adamu Mutala, Ruben Ogbonnaya, Ubong Ekpai were injured as Musa Gida were attacked by armed robbers along Abaji Lokoja on Thursday afternoon. Okay, more these men had eliminated Al Malaikia in their 2015 CAF Champions League preliminary rounds and were heading to Wari ahead of their Nigerian Premier League opener against Heartland. The CAF Champions League champions, the CAF Champions League campaigners were traveling in a 32-seater coaster bus, which had 25 people, including 18 players, alongside a four-man technical crew led by Okay Emodi in another Peugeot car. That's a wrap on our sport news tonight. Very big thanks for being there. I am Brownson Wananifemi. We'll be back with news outside Nigeria.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Outside Nigeria now, for more stories, the U.S. ambassador to South Korea, Mark Lippert, was slashed on his face and arm in Seoul on Thursday by a blade-wielding assailant opposed to ongoing U.S.-Korean military drills. Witnesses described how a man with a blade concealed in his right hand had lunged across a table at Lippert at a breakfast function at the Xinjiang Cultural Institute in Central Seoul. Video footage showed the ambassador being escorted out of the building, holding one hand to his bleeding right cheek and his other hand smeared with blood, with an apparent wound to the wrist. Meanwhile, the United States condemned the act of violence, which left the ambassador bleeding profusely as he was rushed to hospital, and said that President Barack Obama had spoken with him. Lippert, 42, was bundled into a police car and rushed to hospital, where a U.S. Embassy spokesman said he was in a stable condition. Police identified the attacker as Kim King-young, 55, and said he was a left-wing nationalist with a previous conviction for hurling a stone at the then Japanese ambassador to Seoul in 2010. To end CoreTV Primetime News tonight, a recap of our major stars. President Goodluck Jonathan has insisted that abducted Chibok schoolgirls are still alive. And the federal government has granted 9 private universities provisional licenses, bringing number of private universities to 59. And that wraps it tonight on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. On behalf of everyone here, it's good night.